Hey guys, today I'll be doing a review on the Adidas Speed Tilt 250 boxing gloves. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Adidas Speed Tilt 250 boxing gloves. I got mine in the red and white colorway, 14 ounces. This is a Velcro closure only model. It's manufactured in Pakistan. Uses a synthetic polyurethane outside casing with injected molded foam. Now this glove also comes in black and white, as well as a blue, red, and white colorway, and you can get it anywhere between 10 and 16 ounces. Now this is going to be Adidas mid-tier glove in the Speed Tilt lineup. The Speed Tilt 350 is their high-end glove. It's almost $100 more than this one. It is also probably their most popular glove. In my opinion, probably the best glove Adidas has to offer. It uses cactus leather, multi-layer foam padding. It's a really awesome glove. Then they have the 150, which I also did a review on, which is fairly identical to this one. There's two key differences in my opinion. Is going to be on the 150, the palm side is made of mesh. So you have the mesh palm where this one is full synthetic. And this 250 also has a full wraparound Velcro strap, whereas the 150 just has the Velcro tab that goes across. So if you're looking for something with a little bit more wrist support, then the 250 would be the way to go. But again, you're gonna be paying $20 more. The other difference is the 150 has more colorways to choose from, and I think one or two more sizes. So it's really up to you. It just depends on your personal needs. Design-wise, when you look into this glove, the first thing you'll notice is the Speed Tilt technology, if you want to call it. First is going to be the foam, which is all one piece. It doesn't have a segmented cuff. So essentially that that IMF, that injected molded foam, is all one piece down into the wrist and to the cup. So the whole point behind that and the design is so that it prevents hyperflexion or being able to extend your wrist too far back and basically prevent injury. And that's the whole premise behind that one piece of foam throughout the entire glove and not having it separate from your wrist section. The other thing you'll notice, it does have that tilt to it, kind of that slight bend. You'll notice right here, that curvature. Looks kind of weird when you're looking at it. If you were just standing on top of a table straight, you'll notice that it has that curvature. And the whole design idea behind that is to position your fist so that you land on your knuckles properly, or mainly your two front knuckles, which is how you're supposed to be landing, which is going to be your index and your middle finger. And that's kind of the whole design behind it. Honestly, to me, it's a little bit more of a gimmick. I feel like if you're punching with proper technique and fundamentals, then you're not going to need this glove that has a slight crooked angle to it to really help you. Maybe it might help you a little bit, but me personally, I couldn't really tell the difference with that. To me, you should just be exercising proper form more than anything else. And I get the whole premise behind it, but I feel like it's a little bit more of a gimmick than anything else. The synthetic on here is pretty much the same as you would see on the 150s. It has more of a kind of a matte, or should I say satin sheen to it. You have the 3 Adidas stripes going down diagonally on the back of the glove. You can see the separation in color as well as the stitching between the white and the red, and that stitching kind of comes down, weaves down that way. You also have just kind of this white design right here on the thumb, as well as the stitching that separates the thumb and the back of the glove. Same type of design on the Velcro strap. Excuse me, it says Speed Tilt 250. The Velcro strap is basically stitched onto the flat piece of foam on the back of the glove. And you can see on the inner portion, strap looks good. The inside is a nice smooth tri-cot liner. You also have the manufacturing tag right there where it's made and the sizing of the glove. Ventilated holes on the palm, nothing on the thumb. You do have a nylon attached thumb right there. And the grip bars are pretty good size. It's not too small, so that's really nice. And you also have Adidas printed right there on the finger compartment. Quality-wise, the gloves are pretty solid overall. You know, the stitching on here is done pretty clean. symmetrical. Now, obviously the synthetic on here, I'd say is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like on the level of the synthetic you would see like on a rival glove or some of the higher end synthetics you see out there. It's definitely better than Everlast synthetic. I say kind of a mid-range synthetic in that regard. It's not as thin as the Everlast like synthetic Power Locks or some of those other pro style elite gloves, but it's not as good as like the synthetic microfiber that other companies carry. So I'd say right in the middle, but you can see the stitching looks pretty good. The weight was pretty much on point. They weighed in at 13.8 ounces, which is really good to see. And because you have that one piece of foam throughout the entire glove, you can see it's really well balanced. You don't have any kind of imbalance in the glove. You don't have any separation right here, so the glove can't just bend down and flop around. So that's one great feature I like about this glove, is that one piece of foam to keep everything nice and rigid all together in one piece. You can see some of the stitching kind of pulling away from the synthetic right there. And that's kind of a common occurrence you'll notice with a lot of gloves. Even some of the higher end gloves, you'll notice that as well. Where the thumb meets the index finger. Doesn't look too bad. Comfort wise, slide my hand into the glove. So the liner feels great. I love that tri-cot liner, nice and smooth, no bunching up. The depth of the finger compartment is perfect. The actual width of it, I'd say it's a little bit on the narrow side. If you have a little bit larger hands, I would maybe go up to a 60-ounce glove. These fit me just right, but I can definitely foresee if you have larger hands. I have pretty regular medium-sized hands, but if you have longer fingers or just bigger hands in general, then this might feel a little bit crowded. It is molded foam, so it does take a lot of breaking in. You can see the glove is fairly stiff. I can't really open my hand more than that. You do have a piece of neoprene in the finger compartment, which is really nice, and you can really feel that grip bar. The thumb also feels really good. So it's deep enough to where when you make a fist, you don't feel like the tip collapses on the tip of your thumb. And this piping wasn't too tight. And I think the fact that it is synthetic, it just has a little bit more give. So when my hand wraps were on and I was using these gloves, I didn't have any tightness in this area, thankfully, and it kind of stretched out pretty well. But the depth is really good. The thumb feels really nice. The liner on the inside hand compartment feels good. And the Velcro strap right here is definitely better than the 150 model because of just how it wraps around and gives you a little bit more support. It doesn't feel as rinky-dinky as the 150 where you just have that little tab that goes across. The only thing I didn't like is the fact that you have a little bit of overlap with this. I feel like they should have extended the Velcro a little bit further out so you didn't have kind of that edge or that flap that's poking out right there, and that's a big issue, especially if you're going to use this glove for sparring. I would definitely recommend taping that off because that can kind of come undone and scrape your sparring partner or even yourself and you get scraped up pretty good. If you guys have ever gotten scraped by Velcro, you know how that is. But outside of that, everything else feels really good about this glove. Protection and performance wise, this is definitely more of a protective glove like all IMF gloves are in my opinion. It takes a lot of breaking in. You can see that the foam on here is very dense. It's all one piece molded foam. I've never been a fan of molded foam. I've said this in numerous videos, just because it doesn't really have the feedback that I'm looking for. Good for protection, but it doesn't feel like a surgical type device, if you want to call it. Like the 350s uses multi-layer foam, so you get a great level of protection, but you get this sensation of feedback that you don't get with this. And that's also why you're paying a lot more money for those. So, you know, they're good gloves, good for beginners. You know, I just think that the multi-layer or the molded foam on here is just something that kind of takes away from this glove. To me, if you're gonna make a mid-tier glove, I would have done this in a multi-layer foam, maybe not as good as the 350, but just something where it's not injected molded foam like the 150 and all you're doing is changing the palm side fabric as well as the Velcro strap. To kind of justify the price increase. But again, more on the protective side and does a really good job of absorbing shock. Really good for bag work, especially the heavy bag, hitting the mitts. Pretty much everything in the gym, I would definitely break it a little bit more for sparring. Cost-wise, I don't know if I remember if I mentioned this earlier, but these gloves are $69, so you know, the Speed Tilt 150s are at $49, these are at $69, and then to the 350s, you're gonna make a huge jump to, I think it's $169 or $179 if I can recall. So you're making a big jump in that regard. I feel like these gloves are decent, but there's definitely other better gloves out there in my opinion, like the Venom Impacts around the same price range that I would get before these. I feel like Adidas should have made the glove probably maybe like around $100 and implemented more of the features in the 350 into this glove to make it a true like good mid-tier glove. And I think that would have been a hot seller in my opinion. Multi-layer foam, better quality in terms of the synthetic fabrics they're using. And I would have paid the extra money and gotten that over these gloves that are $20 more than the 150s at $49. So it's just a little bit of give and take, but that's just my opinion on these. I think they're solid, but there's definitely other better gloves at this price point, currently speaking. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Adidas Speed Tilt 250 boxing gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.